What do I want the legal world to know about social media? Well, I've been in the industry in a professional sense for about 10 years now, and I've seen a lot of comings and goings. I've seen a lot of changes, a lot of new developments in the social media world. And I am only 2.5 years into working in the legal world on social media. But there's definitely some things that I know from experience that I wanted to share today. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. As always, I'm your host, Smike. The first thing, this is a thing that actually I brought up in my interview with Spotlight Branding when I was asked, well, hey, what's your favorite thing about social media? Like, what is it that gets you excited or gets you motivated on social media? Well, first and foremost, it's ideation. I'm an ideator. I love coming up with ideas and seeing them play out. But I didn't say that in my interview. What I did say, though, is that I believe that social media, the best use of social media is to connect people. Oh, wow, that's so revolutionary. It's not meant to be. In fact, connecting people on social media is really the original idea, right? I mean, you talk about being able to connect with somebody from across the world. I mean, you've got groups out there of people who are helping others, but they don't live anywhere near each other. They live so far away, and they're still helping each other because they share, similar interests. They share similar beliefs. They have access to certain things that the others don't. Whatever the case is, it's what I believe to be the main purpose of social media. And we've kind of lost that in the mix, with followers and likes and shares and all that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do some social media work on the side, some personal stuff, because I'm really, truly passionate about social media. I think it's easily one of the best creations in human existence. Oh my gosh, that's so terrible. There's people that are feeling so victimized by social media. Well, there's going to be people who feel victimized about everything, unfortunately. And I'm not sticking up for bullies here, but that's just the case. And honestly, I just see social media just to be such a great platform to connect people, to be the reason why a person across the entire world can get like a matching organ for a transplant or something. I don't know. I just there's so much opportunity that is created from social media. Like the internet, yes, 100 times. And then you have social media, which is you put your business up there, and you put your law firm up there, it just creates so much opportunity. The fact that you can hit a button and your content, your face, your voice can be distributed in front of hundreds, sometimes thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of people, and almost in an instant is insane. It just blows my mind. It's so cool. It's so cool. So first and foremost, what I want people in the legal world to remember about social media is that it's not a billboard, right? It's about relationship building. It always has been. And that's the thing that I love most about it, is that it's building connections, true, authentic connections. It's not somewhere where you just plaster your face up and you say, look at me, love me. Like, why should we love you? Build that connection first. Build a relationship with me first, and then maybe I'll love you. It's not meant to. Yes, you have people that go viral. Going viral is very much about luck, because I say this a lot. You have certain aspects about content that goes viral that you can see throughout. Usually there's some sort of surprise. There's some sort of element that you weren't expecting, aka surprise, dub, Smike, come on. But there's certain things about it that you can kind of point out in a lot of different pieces of viral content. But the thing about it is that you need to get the action, right? And a lot of times if you try to replicate it, you don't get the action. And that's fine. You don't need to go viral on social media in order to be successful. But that's one of the things I wanted to just kind of put out there. So the second thing I want to talk about was the fact that social media can allow you to get in front of all those people and share your knowledge. Like I said before, it amazes me with a click of the button, you can get in front of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, depending on what your audience size is. And if you're providing the right kind of info, you could be providing information that someone maybe would have never thought of. Maybe you are able to look at certain issues a certain way. Maybe you're able to present how you do things, and someone's like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that. And even for fellow legal people, like you could say, oh, well, this is how I track my hours, or this is how I track my referrals, or whatever the case is. And someone's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that process, right? It's people helping people. That's the beauty of social media. That's the beauty of it. Hey there, we're going to get right back to the episode in just a few seconds here, but I wanted to share this opportunity that's exclusive for podcast listeners, or if you're watching on YouTube, exclusive to you as well. If you book a strategy session with us using the link in the podcast description or YouTube description, in the notes section, all you got to do is type LFMM for a Law Firm Marketing Minute. And if you decide that we're a great fit and we decide you're a great fit for us, you'll have no monthly payments until January 2025. Pretty crazy. So go ahead and check the description. All right, let's get right back to the episode. And the thing is, if it was easy to absolutely maximize your reach on social media, if it was absolutely so easy to go viral on social media, then nobody would go viral. Right? If everyone's going viral, then nobody will go viral. What's that line from The Incredibles, right? Where Syndrome's like, when everybody's super, then no one will be, or something like that. It's very similar. If everyone's going viral, then nobody's going viral. It's just a normal day on social media. So I think another piece of beauty when it comes to social media is that it's consistency. It's the long game. You see these influencers out there who have millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're putting up a video that seems like it doesn't take much effort at all. And they're just clicking it and gets a million likes, crazy amount. And you're kind of sitting there like, bro, they post like once a week, like once every 4 days. Like, what the heck is going on? Well, you gotta peel it back. You gotta look at what happened before all that, right? You gotta think, okay, well, yes, they can do that now. But they spent years, day after day after day, posting consistently, building their personal brand, connecting with their audience in whatever way that they did. There's different ways to do it. And I think it definitely varies based on your industry. For law firms, I think just putting out consistent, valuable information is a great way to establish your credibility, gets you seen as the thought leader in your industry. Or you could also be posting some personal stuff, make it a little bit more personal. Maybe you are a divorce lawyer. Maybe you went through a divorce and you're posting stuff about this, the processes that you went through or what you kind of had to deal with. Maybe you had kids involved, whatever the case is, right? And you're making it personal, whatever. There's different ways. Like I said, there's different ways to go about establishing that relationship with your audience. Another thing is if you have someone who likes one of your posts, send them a quick DM. Hey, I appreciate the activity, the engagement on my post. I would appreciate it if you let me know what you thought about it. Like what made you hit that like button? Maybe don't press it too hard, right? Maybe just a little simple thank you. If they say no problem, you say, hey, do you mind if I ask you a question? And then you move on with that. But you don't want to scare them away, right? But the thing is that there's always consistency to it. There's always consistency in everything that you do, right? When it comes to weight loss, that's a path that I've been on for a while now. Whether it's a path to business success, whether it's a path to social media success, whatever success you're looking for, there's always consistency. And that's very, very true with social media. Even though you see influencers who are seemingly living the life, the life that you want. Well, they did a lot of grinding. They did a lot of it. And some were in better positions to do it more than others. Some grew up silver spoon and they were able to spend that time. Others had to work a 9 to 5 still, and they came home and they still were grinding when they came home. They still got it done. The other big thing is social proof. Social media is brilliant for social proof. That makes sense, right? Social media, social proof, right? If you're not familiar with social proof is basically this psychological thing that happens between humans when somebody that we recognize is affirming or is promoting something, we're more than likely to at least take a look, right? If it's somebody that we actually, share values. So, for example, if my wife recommends something to me, I'm going to take a look, at least take a look. There's certain things that pique her interest that don't necessarily pique mine, and that's fine. But if she sends me something and she tells me, hey, take a look at this, I'm going to at least take a look, right? Because I value her opinion. Same thing with social media. If somebody is following, somebody is recommending, somebody is engaging with your content, many times that's a signal to other people who come through and they recognize that name and they see that they interacted with your content. They're more than likely to at least check it out, right? So if you have the opportunity, I say this a lot, with collaborations on social media, if you have the opportunity to collaborate with a local business, right? And you say you take the team for a celebratory dinner to this restaurant. I always use a restaurant example. I really do. And maybe I'll think of something better come next year, but we'll see. But say you take the team out for a celebratory dinner at this restaurant, and it's a very popular restaurant, right? And if you do a collaboration post with them, the people that trust that restaurant, right? They love their food, they love the service, maybe they work there themselves and they enjoy their business. They enjoy working for the business. If those people see on social media that this restaurant is like, yeah, this law firm is, good enough to collaborate with us, then that's social proof right there. That's that psychological that, oh, if this person or this business that I like and I trust recommends this other business, then I have reason to trust them. Doesn't mean that they always will. Some people are more skittish than others. Some people are very narrow in how they decide who and what they trust. But there is that possibility. There is that much more drive behind them to at least take a look, right? I wanted to finish off with avoid the sales pitch on social media. People go to social media to learn. People go to social media to be entertained. People go on social media to see what their friends are doing. People don't go on social media to be sold to, right? And we see this in a lot of different platforms, ways of how they present ads, right? Even the platforms know that people don't go to social media to be sold. So what platforms do, I'm sure you've noticed this, what platforms do is that they format the ads so that the ads just look like another post within the whole feed, right? So say I'm scrolling on X. I think they've taken away like the whole retweet and liking of ads themselves. So you can see there's a bit of a difference. However, the actual format is very similar to somebody else who's tweeting or Xing. I don't know what they call it now. So basically you go through and it's just as if you're seeing another post on X, but it's an ad and it's marked as an ad. Facebook's a good example. Facebook is very, very similar, except it usually has like the CTA, the button on the bottom that they want you to kind of press, or they hope that you press. But it's very similar. You can like it, you can comment on it, you can share it. So even the platforms know that people don't come to social media to be sold. So why would you try to sell on social media, right? Think about that. Social media is a place where people come to be broken free from the world, or maybe they want to know about the world. Regardless, they don't want to be sold to. That's not what their priority is. It's those really good marketers It's those really good marketers that have found a way to do it well, where people don't even recognize that it's an ad. They just go along with it. Like, that's why you see a lot of influencers who have paid partnerships, right? Because it's not only is that the social proof, right, where they're like, oh my gosh, I trust this influencer, and now this influencer is telling me I should buy these fuzzy socks, so I'm going to buy these fuzzy socks. Not only is it that, but there's also that element where they're just scrolling through and they just see what appears to be a post from their favorite influencer. It just happens to be an ad, a paid partnership ad, and it lets the guard down, right? Because when people are being sold to, or our guards are up, and it kind of lets their guard down. But generally speaking, nobody goes to social media to be sold. Doesn't mean that you can't try to, right? There's different ways. There's different ways to go about it. There's different smart techniques about how you talk and what you say and this and that. Doesn't mean that you can't sell, but people generally don't go to social media to be sold. So don't expect to be able to sell very well on social media. That is all I have for today. That's all I have for this week. Next week, very excited for the episode. We've got a great episode about data. And I know data can be very boring. This one is actually pretty exciting because it illustrates all the ways that your law firm can maximize its potential by using data. So that's next week, starting Monday. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.